Hey everyone, we're getting started. Give us a minute for technology to catch up. And
are we ready?
yes, I can see us on the internet. So
Wonderful.
welcome to our third day.
At the what?
We're on the third day, right, of this?
Yes, day 3. Actually, I just put it on the like the title just for people to see it if they're showing up now.
Yes.
Right. So thank you, Kavita, for being here once more. Thank you, everybody. Also, if you're getting this this video live or just a replay as well. So I will be checking comments and everything. Just feel free to please come and join us. So today is day 3 out of 7 days of making these talks on wellness, on how health can be done differently, how things are changing, and also, giving a perspective on how everything related to health is not just the physical, the body, like everybody has always explained to us, but also emotional and energetic and even spiritual, everything. So today, well, actually yesterday we were talking, the first day we talked about awareness, and yesterday we put the awareness in practice, and Kavita was my patient. And today it's going to turn a little bit around. So in a way, I'm going to be the patient and Kavita can just go, all over. So let's see. The interesting point about this, which you raised, and I'm super grateful, is because the main things that we were talking about yesterday was where, the things that we can do, observe, and learn about our bodies to make a day go smoother, to make our life easier on the next day, whether we slept okay, whether we hydrated properly or ate properly, like the right foods and so on. So the funny thing is that today I'm feeling very tired because I had a difficult sleeping right last night. Not difficulty, but more like I needed probably more hours than the ones I slept. And I am someone who needs a lot of sleep. So I know that about myself. So today it was, just getting through the day, catching up with water and all of that. But I see myself being very tired after my day job and coming to nap and all of that. And it's interesting because that's why I'm putting myself here on the table right now. So um, I would like to ask you, Kavita, with what we talked yesterday, because I saw how aware you are about your things in this sense, right? I would like you to give your perspective instead as the person who is on the other side, as if you were the person recommending these things, as if you were seeing me like the tired patient that is coming for help, like your perspective, your view. How do you see it when it's not about you but about others?
Right.
If it makes any sense.
Yes, it does. Um, so it's interesting because when it is that you say, okay, I've had my day job, I'm showing up here, there's something that I want to do. I notice you froze. Oh, there's your internet again. Yes. So here I want to show up in my group. I've had a busy day job, and naturally, of course, there are days when we're tired and all these things happen. Of course, we've all experienced it. Yet I love the opportunity to fine tune that, because what I see is the lenses that you talked about yesterday, right? With health and exercise, emotions, and all these different things. If those pillars are in place, then even though your day is hectic, you don't need to have a tired experience from it. you can feel like, ooh, it was a full day and I showed up and I did all the things, and I come back home and I'm satisfied with my performance at work. I'm satisfied with the results that I got. And this is not a settling satisfied. This is like a deep in your body, soul connecting
Yeah.
satisfied. All right. And so you're like, huh. And so that level of fulfillment actually fuels you to do the remaining things to close your day and to prepare for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I see it. And so I think sometimes by default, because again, social mass consciousness and programming and all of that, thinks, well, well, if it is that we're exhausted, we need to unplug. If it is that we're tired, we need to unplug and do nothing. And in that nothingness, sometimes we're just drifting and hopefully
Mm.
fall to sleep, and then the next day we wake up. But if I don't take your advice from what you gave me yesterday, and I do that kind of behavior, tomorrow is not going to really be any better because I didn't do the foundation today. And so what I'm really hearing is that the
It's
foundation of
powerful.
a good day
Love it.
starts the night before. That's what I'm hearing, right? The foundation of a new
Yeah.
day starts the night before, and to look at life through the things that you're offering. So,
Yeah.
hey everyone, thank you for joining.
Hello, hello.
Yes. So what's
Yeah, you know what I am hearing also about that is that, as you know, even we can have this awareness, and also it is allowed for us sometimes to drift a little bit, but just a little bit, in order to be okay, because sometimes that will bring us back to reinforce the awareness. Sometimes, like myself today is like, tired, okay, but it is not bad. It's not a bad thing. You're not failing at it, but it is important because it brings you back to this knowledge with more strength.
yes. I love that you use the word strength because it to me it's using that gym analogy, right? Like when you're doing something, you keep doing the exercise and making yourself better and better at it so that ultimately your body receives the strength of that consistency, right? So it's just like what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying. At first, even these little tweaks in our life may seem like an additional thing to do, yet
Yeah,
as we
like
get
an
better at doing it,
extra effort.
yes, it takes less time and it's less effort, and it's just like, oh, I hang my keys this place so that I can find it before I leave the house. It becomes like that sort of second nature
Yeah.
thinking. So I absolutely love that. And so the question here on the table for all of you watching is where it is that you feel that you are not subscribing. Like, so yesterday I was the patient being like, okay, sleep is one of the places in which I can catch myself that I'm slipping, so to speak, right? And if I'm slipping, it doesn't mean, like you said, Mariana, I'm failing. It just means like, whoa, wait a minute, awareness here. What is it that I
Exactly.
happened that I didn't see? And then I become even more aware in this moment and be like, okay, I don't want to have that experience. So what are my conscious choices in this moment so that I can
Yeah,
have
for tomorrow.
the reality that I want, right?
That is so powerful. It applies really to anything. Like, let's take it way further out of outside the body, just outside of just health in a way. Health
Yes.
is everything, but as we have learned with this coronavirus, but that applies to pretty, like, really everything. If you think of emotions, the mindset, it's actually like going to the mind gym, the gym of the mind, or the emotional mind, or the mindset gym.
Yes. Yes.
It is amazing. I love it.
And so for you all, you can think about yesterday. Let's just take yesterday. Let's not go further. What happened yesterday that you did or you didn't do that is affecting your reality today? And how would
Mm-hmm.
you like it to be different? And even though it seems that
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's not a body thing, it might be a business thing or whatever, I'd love for you to share it in the
Mm-hmm.
chat because we can both come back here and help you fine tune that
Really.
and connect the dots to to the core essence of where that problem lies. So that's your prompt
Mm-hmm.
time. Um, think about the way you're showing up in your life, the way you're showing up in your business. Think about
Yeah, even at family and at work, everything and anything really applies because we are the same person no matter where we are and no matter where we go through the day. Right? Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And my voice is going. Hold on.
You need water. Good job. You just had it. Actually, same here.
See, talk about the things that we manifested.
Mm-hmm.
So glad that I have the reminder there, right? Practical things. If it is that I'm going to be in a call, it's good to have the water because if I don't, then it may take a longer time between this conversation and me getting up to get water. So
Mm-hmm.
again, a slight nudge in which you can
Yeah.
make a difference in the way you're showing up for your life.
Yeah. It's the little prevention things, right? That's the point proven that prevention really means everything because this having the glass of water before you're going on a talk is prevention. So it prevents you from, taking extra time or extra effort to do something. And it just, you can take that everywhere or to every single thing you're doing. Any activity, whatever you do today will certainly sounds cliche, but it really is powerful. What you do today will have the impact tomorrow, most definitely.
Exactly. And so what I've noticed too that some energy things that has come up in this conversation with you and I, Mariana, is you mentioned to me how easy it is to help and show up for other people, but sometimes you tend to not do that for yourself. And I'm sure a lot of people in this group may have experienced that. So maybe you'd like to talk
Mm,
about that and what that looks
yeah.
like. Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, that was really interesting. So we were talking a little bit before going on this live, just catching up, and I realized, I was sharing with Kavita, I realized this thing because I was, in a very tired state. I was like, I really want to show up, and I want to show up, and here I am. But the thing is that probably in a different time of my life, I would have delayed maybe the time of this video showing up, which is something I created for myself and for the people, right? A group that I created, an experience that I wanted to create for others, and yet it is a fact that I would have maybe delayed it a day just out of my own circumstance here, and I don't know, it kind of clicked when we were talking that these things that we don't do or that we delay for that we think we're doing for others, we are really doing it to ourselves. So I'm delaying something to myself or for myself. It's like, I don't know if the point is clear, but it is really interesting how that applies in for myself as I am seeing it, like joining the dots, how that has been somehow a norm in my life, either for exercise, for activities that I love, like dancing. It depends on it's like you depend on the outer circumstance so many times to actually do the thing that is for you. And it shouldn't be. If it's for you, you go do it because it's for you. Why would you delay giving something to yourself that is nice, right? And yet we keep doing that. We keep not doing the thing for ourselves, but we go all the miles for other people, but we don't do one extra mile for us.
Yes. Yes.
And that was huge.
Yes.
And it happens to everybody, but it shouldn't. Or we should become aware so we can change because it's a pattern. It's just a
Yeah.
pattern in the
And what I
end.
love about you saying that too is that, again, bringing it back to the pillars, is the thing that we are asked to do for ourselves, like drinking water or exercising. It is so small in terms of the time and space it actually takes up in our lives compared to the million things that we do for other people within a day, right? It's so small, and yet because we don't give it the attention. I love that you said something earlier too. You said, I want and I'm doing it all in my head, but I'm not doing it here in my body.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, yeah, all the exercises, stretching.
Yes, I'm stretching in my head. That's what you said. It was so brilliant. Um, but you know, why pause it there and not bring it into the
Yeah.
into your physical body experience and make it a complete experience?
You know, it comes to self-love. And I think, I mean, again, so many people find this so cliche, but we need to understand that this is the direction in which we are all going, and health in our mind, in our body, is going towards that one thing, that loving ourselves, because it is the first one way in which we can give more, you know. And all these things is us not loving ourselves or accepting ourselves, what we have, who we are, you know, enjoying it. And that goes such a long way further in everybody's thinking or mindset, you know.
Yeah. And I love that you're putting this on the table because let's take a moment. And if we imagine the world where everybody was practicing this, like this level of self love, like, first the
Yeah.
oxygen mask on me, I ensure that I am fit and healthy to do the thing that I'm called to do, to serve the people I'm called to serve. And so I'm very conscious again in my choices, very deliberate in my actions, and the impact of that versus that like I might be empty, running on empty, so I'm now an agitated screaming mommy, hey, stop doing that, pick yourself up, and I start behaving in that way, and it's not powerful or pleasant for the child, or for my clients or anybody that comes around me because I'm running empty.
Yeah, you don't beat yourself to growth, towards growth. You love yourself. And because if you beat yourself, like if you beat a child, then there's going to be trauma in your head, and trauma serves no one, as
Yes.
we know.
Yes. So here it is. We are, if you're not choosing love, you're choosing trauma, or you're creating room for trauma. I will put it that way. Unless you make different choices. And so, Marianne, I love that coming again from the doctor's perspective of the reason you end up at the doctor's office for a health related issue is your version of internal trauma to yourself and to your body. And now the doctor's role is to help you first release it in a way or stop it.
To see and fix, yeah.
Yeah,
But
to fix, but it's not going back to the roots. And part of the awareness is to see where the root cause of that trauma began so that you can choose different habits so you don't keep creating the same trauma over and over again. The visual that I'm getting
yes.
is like an ulcer. Like, yes, like an ulcer over and over again. If you don't know what the problem is, you can't stop it. And so here it is that you do preventative health and wellness space so that we don't need to create ulcers in order to know ourselves and to love ourselves. Yeah. So it's really beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how many people just live with this thing that maybe they get a diagnosis or they get a treatment, and it's a label in a way. I mean, yes, there are things that happen in the body, of course, but the way it works in the mind, it works as a label. So many people just buy into it, and it's like, oh my God, I have arthritis, nothing to do, arthritis forever, pill forever, one pill, two pills every day forever. There's no questioning, you know, or there's no curiosity to go and see a little bit further, like, okay, what am I doing that, you know, is not helping my joints, or what can I do that could improve my joints? If there's going to be pain, chronic pain, okay, but what can I do that might diminish it? Why do I have to just believe in the one thing that they tell me as if it was the one and only rule? Like, you just have to take this pill for the next 30 years of your life. Come on. To me, as a doctor, it's like, seriously, you don't want to, you know, ask me something else about it, you know? And I see that so frequently, and it pains me, you know. I feel for the people, because it's like, no, let me, you know, grab your hand a little bit, show you something else, and there's more possibilities, but we need to dig in.
Yes, yes. I absolutely love that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to share a story. You picked the right word. So I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis,
Okay.
22, 22 years old. Um, so I was at 16 when I was doing, not 16, I was younger, maybe 7. I was doing Indian classical dance and I couldn't because of all the pain, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
knew why. And I still wanted to dance, so I would have my dance and then have the pain, and then, you know, and of course, at that age, I didn't, nobody thought, and like, well, this is something medical that we need to sort it out. They're like, maybe it's growing
Mm-hmm.
pains, you're growing, you know. Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so that happened. And then after I started working and I decided to go to the doctor, and then I was diagnosed, and I'm like, okay. So then I needed
Right.
pills. And
Hmm.
I'm like, you know what? I am not going to take these pills. Is there another way? And the doctor said, well, you can take an injection. You can take it once a month. So they were giving me penicillin injections. And those were not fun either. But I chose that out of the alternatives of a pill or an injection. And then I was always like curious, like, okay, this is what I'm doing to deal with the pain, but this is not the solution. I knew that. And so when I
Yeah.
was pregnant with my first child, I decided to, well, of course, I decided I was not going to be on any sort of medications. I don't care if my life depends on it. I don't want to have a pregnancy and take medication.
Yeah.
So, so that was my decision. It was final, and I went through my pregnancy, and then after birth and everything else, here it was. I had an opportunity again to go back to the doctor and pick up where I left off and continue the penicillin. And I thought, well, for my I was very diligent. I made sure I ate and slept, and I did all the things that I could possibly do right for my
Mm-hmm. To take care of yourself.
yes. So,
Yeah.
and I was fine. So I don't need to go to the doctor.
I love your face, like,
Right? So, my husband asked if I wanted to. I'm like, no, no, not really. And so I did,
Mhm.
and I did other things, like I did apple cider vinegar and things like that instead. And
Mhm.
fast forward many years into my from that moment, so into my with my second child, she had some complications and we were at the hospital. And I had this thought cross my mind. So it's a hospital, they all have our records and everything. So I said to the person in front of me, well, what if I wanted to know if I have rheumatoid arthritis? Can I just request a lab test just like that? Or what's the hospital policy and all of that? And,
Uh-huh.
and I had no attachment to it, right? I didn't care if he said yes or no. And based on the situation we were in, and we were already looking at everybody's health, um, he said, "Yeah, we can definitely do it if it's what you want, even though it doesn't
Hmm.
seem related to what we're doing right now." I'm like, okay, cool, I don't want that. He said, "But you have to pay in full." Like, yeah, sure, let's pay for the test and do it. So we did the test, and the results came back, and he says, "Well, it's negative. You don't have rheumatoid arthritis, right?" So
Amazing.
right. So now he's faced with the fact that I said that I had it. I spoke about the doctor or whatever, and here it is. He has a result that doesn't match that. So
Yeah.
He goes, well, maybe your doctor did a
Misdiagnosed.
yes.
That was my first thought when you just said that, maybe. So that's why labels. We can't not go full believing everything that they tell us, even if it's a doctor, you know.
Right. And so my point was that it didn't matter if I did have it and then somehow I healed myself or whatever.
Yeah.
The point is I don't have it in that moment. And I wasn't believing it anyway. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't argue with him. I don't need to build a case. I'm like, yeah, I got my evidence.
And you took care of yourself. You became aware in a way during your first pregnancy to do these things and these things and these things, and it changed the physiology and the chemistry in your body, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. I didn't know this. Wow. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome. So what are your stories? What are the things you still might be facing, or what are your own miracle stories? You know, you can share with us as well. We'd love to hear that. Because for me too, I believe that no matter what the reality is, you can always change it, but it has to come to that level of choice, conscious choice, like I like to say, and that
conscious choice,
clear decision. No, this is what we're doing. Like you showing up on this call, I'm sure while you before this call you were feeling the tiredness. I'm sure right now you're not.
It's definitely different. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's the excitement. It's like accomplishment and all things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because
it's about, and the habits were like that.
Yes. Because this moment fuels the joy of what you truly desire compared to the tiredness that was in the way of this experience. Right? So
I love it. Wonderful.
Yes. So we both get to be here as role models for you, walking our talk in different ways. No matter our position and our authority, we get to show you we still have human experiences. And this is from the level of choice, we're able to change it from the level of awareness. And if I'm not aware or I'm not sure, I get to ask the person who has that information for me, who has the ability to show me all the pieces so that I can choose differently. Yes. So
wonderful.
Thank you, Mariana, for doing this. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. This was powerful today as well. I hope everybody finds all the little nuggets, and whatever you feel like commenting or sending a private message if you want to ask anything, please feel free, and I'll be right there.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Cool.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.